Fantastic, awesome! Hello, my name is Captain Starlight. I'm here with my other very good friend, also Captain Starlight, and we're joined with a huge amount of awesome guests and participants for today's very special Book Week Crafternoon Spectacular. Now, before we get started, just a few little thank yous, a little bit of polite notices.
Thank you.
Not to you. Well, obviously, Captain, we're very happy that you are here, but this goes out to Spotlight, who we are so grateful for helping today come together. They've supplied us with all the crafts for today's activities, and even beyond just today's activities, they help out the Starlight Foundation all across Australia. They give us amazing stuff to play with and to kind of create incredible things with. They're our official creativity partner, and we love them for it. So thank you to them. Now, today's event is all about Book Week, which is from the 17th to the 23rd of October. It's coming right up, folks. Now, Book Week is a great time to... Oh, boom! Boom! Captain Starlight, you're already really getting into it. Go for you, dude.
You gotta read.
You got to do a lot of reading. That's what Book Week is all about, celebrating amazing books. It's a great time to celebrate Australian authors, Australian illustrators. Perfecto. Now, speaking of which, I would like to introduce a very special guest for this afternoon's incredible event. This is, joining us today, Rove McManus. Rove has released 2 books.
There, count them. There they are.
Book 1, 2. Wow.
They're disgusting, Rove.
One of the books is disgusting.
Here, I'm very proud of
One of the books is Disgusting with Gross Face, which we'll be looking at a little bit closer. We've got that picture up there, all about it. And the other is Rocky Lobster. And there's another Rocky Lobster coming out later on, Rocky Lobster and the Time Travel Tangle. There's a lot going on. It's very big. It's a big intro for a big guest. So please welcome, folks, Rove McManus. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much for both of the Captain Starlight Squared. I want to say hello to all of you. Thank you very much for joining me today. This is very exciting.
You guys sit back and relax, get as comfortable as you can wearing your incredible outfits, and we'll begin. Now, of course, I should warn you, it's pretty disgusting. Here we go. Disgusting McGrossface. By some guy called Rove McManus. That's a weird name. Mum and Dad walked through our door to find muddy footprints on the floor. Who left these? What a mess! Oh no! I quickly said, oh what? You didn't know? Look at that, very, very muddy footprints all over the welcome mat, all over the good rug. I don't know if you noticed, look at that. They've got a Rocky Lobster doll in their house. Planting seeds for another book. There's a certain creature who's to blame, and Disgusting McGrossface is his name. He left that mess, no doubt, for sure. Sit back, chillax, and I'll tell you more. He comes from a place that's mucky and smells. It's hard to believe, but that's where he dwells. It is very mucky. Look, there's a toilet. That's an actual toilet. Bag of rubbish. There's a fish head in there somewhere. That is pretty gross. Let's find out more about him. Who brings in mud, then licks his feet dry? Disgusting McGrossface. He's your guide. Who hasn't bathed in multiple weeks? Disgusting McGrossface. And that's why he reeks. Look, even the skunk is going, mate, have a bath. Whose breath smells like a fish was pulled out of the waste? Disgusting but gross face. Ever heard of toothpaste? Look at that burp. Double page burp that has the smell of a rubbish bin with a fish coming out of it. Guys, just brush your teeth, please. No one needs horrible bin fish breath. Guess whose pet is a crusty old rat? Disgusting McGrossface. No, I don't want a pat. Who has a collection of snot-filled tissues? Disgusting McGrossface. Boy, he's got issues. Look at this. This box here is called got limited edition hankies, celebrity snot rags, and mint condition boogers. Guys, that one's even dripping. He is foul, although he has won awards, apparently, for his prize collection. Who has a side of worms with every meal? Disgusting but gross face. What's his deal? Who makes sculptures out of sticky earwax? Disgusting but gross face. That's just the facts. Look, I'll say this. He does have a wonderful eye for art. That is a wonderful sculpture, despite the fact he's made it with very horrible earwax. I don't think you're ready for this one, guys, but here we go. Who leaves dirty undies all over the place? Oh, disgusting but gross face. You are a disgrace. There are a lot of underpants in there. A few to keep an eye out for. There's one here that looks like TARDIS underpants because I'm a Doctor Who fan. There are some that have sharks. I don't know if people like sharks. There's a shark one there. I've got Spider-Man underpants. And look at that, even happy unicorns to match some of our hats. So if you get the chance, have a look through. A lot of fun underpants to have a look at. So when you're reading your book and your parents say, "What are you reading?" You say, "I'm just looking at underpants." Okay, I don't know if you're ready for this one. It's pretty gross. Are you ready for it? Do you think you're ready for it? Give me a wave if you think you're ready for something really disgusting. All right, you guys are. This is not on me, guys. Everybody, Captain Starlight, you saw the waving, right? Yeah, right. So you guys asked for this. Who has a fly swinging from his nose hair? Disgusting but gross face. And he just don't care. Whose favourite smell is wet dog fart? Oh, disgusting but gross face is off the chart. Now that's actually a drawing of my dog. She's a boxer dog called Holly. And when dogs get wet, who's got a dog? Hands up if you've got a dog. Yeah, oh yeah, someone in Darwin has. Yes, I can see another one. Now when a dog gets wet, they really stink, right? Really stink. We've got a dog here joining us now. Georgia's got a dog. That dog, I'm sure when it's wet, really stinks. And when dogs fart, double stinky. He loves it. Who uses his boogers to hang things on the wall? Disgusting but gross face. I can't deal at all. And look at this one. Who has a small mushroom growing out of his rear? Disgusting but gross face. I think you get the idea. Now, guys, this poster here, instead of pink, it's stink. Oh, someone's getting their temperature taken as we keep going. Gross boogers. Now, I drew that picture. That's a disgusting version of the singer Pink. And after I drew that, we signed off and the printers said, "We're all ready to go to make your book an actual book." And then I realized, I've drawn a picture of the singer Pink that says she could be called Stink. And she's a friend of mine, so I actually had to send her an email and say, "Is it okay if I call you Stink in a book?" And she said, "Yes, I think it's very funny." So that has officially been approved. That mushroom I did not ask permission for, so there you go. I didn't get permission from my dog to draw a picture of her farting. So, now that my tale of truth has ended, Mum and Dad, I must say, I'm offended. Did you think I'd leave these marks behind when disgusting but gross face is the mastermind? And you can see here, it's my top secret awesome plan by D. McGrossface. A, me. B, mud. C, dumb kid. D, me hiding, and he's saying ha ha, as the muddy footprints come through the house. E, busted. Mum and Dad both had to concede. Now that I brought them up to speed, we wanted the name of our messy suspect, but disgusting McGrossface we did not expect. And here we see a crazy lineup of pretty weird and disgusting looking characters, and this is the guilty one, disgusting McGrossface. I kind of like this little one here for some reason. Let's clean up this mess together, and then disgusting McGrossface might not come back again. Look at the magnifying glass here. I said, Disgusting McGrossface won't show his face now that I'm the one who's on the case. I promise to watch out for other clues.
And then quickly hid my muddy shoes.
There you go, guys. That's it. Disgusting McGrossface. Very disgusting and very gross. But there you have it. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. And thank you to all of you guys for participating. Thank you for the dogs for getting involved as well. That was marvelous.
And we're going to all try and do it together.
This is great. Now we'll do a couple of things. So first, we'll do Disgusting McGrossface. He's a tricky one to do because there's a lot going on with his very weird and kooky face. So I'll try to do it as simple as we can. But then what we can do afterwards is my other character, Rocky Lobster, who is a little bit easier to do because he's just a pair of googly eyes on sticks. So we'll start. It's going to be tricky, but we'll see how we go. And if we just do it bit by bit, I reckon we can do a Disgusting McGrossface together. So hopefully you've got more than one piece of paper. And then if we've still got a bit of time at the end, I'll take requests. I used to do something. Oh, lovely colours. I love the colours we've got there. I usually just do black and white because I'm not very good with colours. Okay, so the thing about Disgusting McGrossface is he's kind of got a head and a nose that are sort of a bit like a pear or an avocado. So if you just start by doing just sort of like a little lump and a sort of a round bit like that. If you can just start, can you see that? So it's just a bit of a top and a round thing. Now, if you didn't nail that first time, that's okay because we're going to do another one. So once you've done that, we're going to do a bigger one around the outside. So once again, do a sort of a top and then a round bit like that. Nice big round bit, like again, a big fat pear or an avocado. And while your head's probably going, it looks like some weird 3D drawing, what we've already done, we've done his nose and we've done his head. So now, do a little circle on like a little half, like it's got two little ears there, and that becomes his nostrils of his nose. So what we're doing here, that's his nose, and then that's the rest of his head. So once we've got that, now we can do his eyes, and his eyes are like just two like arches, just a simple little arch sort of shape, like the McDonald's logo, although we probably shouldn't be saying that out loud. So I'm going to do the bottom part, so just do two lines coming out of his eyes, like antennas coming out the side like that, and then you just go up and down and up and down, just like that. I'm seeing some very eager face. I'm seeing a lot of concentration. I like that. Now he's got a weird sort of eyelid that hangs a bit lower than the other. So do a line about halfway across one of those eyes and one that's more at the top. So they're uneven and it looks really wonky, but that's kind of the idea. That's going to be his eyes. And then you do a black dot under one and a black dot under the other, and there we've got his eyes, just like that. So a dot there and a dot there. I don't colour the circles all the way in because it makes it look like they've got a bit of light in their eyes and just sometimes makes it a little bit more like they're alive and yeah, a bit more exciting than just doing a simple black dot. But you can do a black dot if you want. Just in case you're looking at mine going, he didn't colour his eyes in properly, that's why. Now, he very rarely smiles unless he's enjoying a dog fart, but otherwise, he's a pretty grumpy guy, and his nose is so big that you can't even see his mouth because his nose hangs over the top. So when we're gonna do the line for his mouth, but as you can see, it cuts under his nose like that. So you're gonna do a line on one side, and it's gonna come out the other side like this. So just start from here and down, and you can make him as grumpy as you want. So you can bring it down on the sides and he can look really, really frowny if you want. So one line on one side, one line on the other side. Zane is very happy with his frowny mouth. Now we're going to do two little squares, a square and then another square for his teeth coming out because he's got big, horrible, ugly teeth. So 2 little squares coming out either side, and you've got his teeth. And now we're going to do like they're going to look like little claws or leaves coming out the side of his head. This is his hair, so you just go 1 little hooky bit, 2, 3, like that, and on the other side 1, 2, 3, like that. He's a ginger. He's got red hair. So 1 out one side, and then do the same thing on the other side. That gets you your hair. And then he also has just these weird, just 3 little stringy bits at the top. This is the fun part, because there's no rules here. They're just 3 dumb hairs that he doesn't know what to do with, and they just go everywhere. So you can have some fun by just making, I don't even think about it. Just go squiggle, 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 squiggle. Always make sure that one of them is pointing in the other direction. But otherwise, go crazy. Have fun. And then the one thing we're missing is these big, droopy sort of banana ears. These can be a little bit tricky, but all you need to do is start somewhere just to find about halfway up the top of his hair here. And just go out like a big floppy banana and curl back down and then do a little bump like that. And then same on the other side, bring it out and then add a bump. So you're just going to do 2 bits, round floppy bit, and then a bump, which is this, well, I don't even know what you call that part of your ear there. So they're not quite finished because it doesn't quite look right, because all we've kind of done is just the top. Now we have to do the other part, the lobe part that hangs underneath. So start again somewhere in the middle, bring it down, and just a big fat ear bit down the bottom. So loop it down, and then big round bit comes back to the side of his head. Make it big and fat. He's got big, fat, horrible old man ears. There's something, I don't know if you've noticed this, as people get older, especially old men, it's like their face shrinks and their ears get really, really massive. And then all we're missing is his eyebrows, which are like they're almost like little, they look like horrible toenails or something, but they're just, again, do 2 little arches over the top of his eyes like that. And then we're just going to add in just a few little extra bits and pieces. I like to do like a smiley mouth, like just like a little, yeah, like as if you were doing a smile on a mouth, midway down his head, like this, to show that, like, he's got a big double chin like this. He's a big old rubbery-headed person with a big double chin. And then I do 2 little circles on his nose to show he's got little warts there, and I sometimes do 2 more up here on the side of his head. But you can draw as many as you want. Cover his whole face in them if you want. Give him heaps and heaps of warts. And then, just to make him really disgusting, I just draw 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines coming out the side of his head to show he's got really horrible hairy ears. Like, if you are looking in the mirror every morning and you find big hairs coming out of your ears or your nose, you just pluck them out or something. But no, he chooses not to. Look, he's very tricky. I don't know how you've all gone. Let me have a look. Hold him up.
I'm quite high.
Oh, wow, guys, you've done really well. Oh, they're really good. Oh, mate. Oh, we've crushed it in WA. Zane, yours is amazing. I don't know who our Captain Starlight is in the space outfit, but that's great. I see boogers coming out of a nose. I see dripping snot. I love it. Okay, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought.
We've had someone call in, so there are people watching us at the moment through our new TV system here at the St. Children's Hospital. We had Adam call up with some questions, and he was just wondering, how did you learn how to draw this awesome discovery gross face? And also, you could be teaching how I made colouring in a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Well, with how I came up with him, I had great fun, and this is one of the real joys I get out of drawing, is I just got to play and I got to experiment. So I wasn't really sure what I wanted him to look like. I could draw if I wanted to. There are no rules when it comes to being creative with your drawing. So if I wanted him to have a big hook nose, I could do like a big hook nose maybe. And he could have like, instead of like a big chin, he could have a tiny little chin like this instead. And maybe he's got, you know, big eyes that are a bit cross-eyed or something. And maybe he's got big bags under his eyes because he doesn't sleep very much. And maybe he's got no hair at all and little tiny pointy ears. You know, that's it. And maybe he could have horns coming out of his head. That's the thing. So I spent days and days just sort of playing and scribbling and until I found some. I got the big nose was the first thing. I thought I like a big nose. And then I just played around with it a little bit. I like the idea that he wouldn't have much hair. At one point he had what they call a comb over when people don't have a lot of hair. Sometimes they grow a lot of hair here and brush it over thinking people won't notice, but we all do. Anyway, in the end, I came up with this face, and that was the one that I liked the most. And then I had to I just had to play with it and have a look at what it might look like if he smiles, if he's a bit frowny, if he's excited. And that's when it becomes really fun. And I will, if we've got time, I will show you one other little thing. Do we have time, Captain Starlight?
Yeah, totally. We just had Adam call in again, time number 2, just to let you know how much he is loving this drawing lesson. And he's got his very own disgusting and gross face on back in his room.
Excellent.
So the lessons keep up, bro. They're paying off.
I love it. I love it. Now, if you want to get colouring, I'll leave you to do that in your own time because it can take a while. But you can also do like, I will tell you the colours for this. I sat down with someone and said, look, I don't really know what colour I want him to be. So do you want to maybe help me come up with some ideas? So he went off and thought of a whole lot of different ideas of what disgusting McGrossface could look like, because the drawing I sent him looks like the one you guys just did. It was just black lines. So he did a version where he was blue, he did a version where he was brown, one where he was pink, and one where he was green. And I wasn't really sure, I couldn't decide, so I showed them to my daughter, and I honestly thought she was going to go with the pink one. And she said, oh, he has to be green because that's the most disgusting colour. No offence to any green people who might be watching. And so there you go.
Because he kind of looked like a big booger.
Like a big booger. Thank you, Captain Starlight. Now, this next one, this will be a really good example of how you can play with a character so they don't just become a drawing, they can become an actual character so that you can make them a bit more exciting than just a simple drawing on the page. So this will be my other character, Rocky Lobster. So he's pretty simple. He's a performing lobster boy. He's really, really cool. He's like, you know, Justin Bieber if he had claws. So what we're going to start with is an O. All I want you to do is the letter O or a circle on the page. Nice and simple. A nice big round circle. You're grabbing another piece of paper if you need it, if you've got one. I don't know where you guys, there's whoever's got the unicorn hat. I don't know where you are at the moment, but I'm doing a shout out to you because whenever you lean down to draw, all I see is unicorn, and I love it. Okay, so now that we've done our big circle, the O, let's say, now we're going to do, it's going to be like a letter C next to it. So we're just going to do a big round one like that, right next to it. So it's kind of like you've done a C next to an O. And what you've done is actually made his eyeballs. So now draw in the black circles in the middle, and you can see he's got big googly eyes. Lobsters, crayfish, they got big googly eyes. The other thing they have is their eyes, they don't sit in their heads like us. You guys would probably know this, like an alien or something. They sit out on these stalks. So we need to draw 2 lines underneath, give him a little bit of a curve. And that's going to be his eyes sticking out of the stalks that they stick out the top of his head. And then his actual head is just like a football, really. It's just like a big oval shape. So you can, if you want, you can just go straight over the top of these. I like to try to not cross over those two lines I've done. So I join them in the middle first. That's where I start. And then going from one side, you're going to go all the way around like a big oval shape, like a big football shape. If it goes a bit off, it doesn't matter. He's a lobster boy, he doesn't care. I don't always get it right every time. So just go round like that and come back up and join it at the other side. Simple as that. And then you've got to do his smile. He's got a winning smile, as he even says in his book. I'll show you this. There it says, winning smile. So there you go. So you just do a big, same as like we did for the disgusting McRoast. I mean, you guys know how to draw a smile, but I like to do like a normal smiley mouth, like you would do, but then bring it back down and do like another one underneath, like that, like it's open. So it's not just a smiley mouth like that, but more a smiley mouth like, hey! And once, so just like that, and once you've done that, just draw one line that comes down the side like that. So it closes it off, so you're doing the inside of his mouth. So do your loop back, underneath, and then close it off. And now you can see he's starting to look more like he's taking on a bit of character, like he's singing, because he can sing. And then if you just draw a line about halfway through, which seems really weird, but you draw a line halfway through his mouth, and then draw like a little bump coming out the bottom, like that. And what you've done is his teeth and his tongue, so that when you colour in this part, this is the fun part, just get your black out and just go like that. You've drawn the inside of his mouth. And it looks like this, where he's got his teeth and his tongue, see? And then we'll just do a little bit here. You can do two little sticks underneath and you get his neck. And then once again do a little, like an upside down almost, or you can just do a rectangle shape really. And that's the top of his t-shirt. And then you can do a little line that way and a little line that way and do a star. And that's his shirt. Because he's got his own merch. He's very famous, you know. So he always wears the same shirt, by the way. I don't know who's doing his laundry. I don't know if he just has like 12 different versions of the same shirt. Who knows? And let's see how we go doing this, because we'll make him like he's waving to everybody. So we're going to do another little sideways sort of rectangle-y bit coming out, like it's a line up, a line across, and a line down. Just a line up, line across, line down. So almost like what you did for his neck, then you do just two little lines coming out. That's going to be his arm. He's only got little tiny stick arms, kind of like me. But then, on the end of those arms, are massive lobster claws. So you guys can just go to town on this. I like to make them really, really big. I'm going to have to go behind his head a little bit. But what you want to do is just do a big loop like that, like a big loop. Then you do a little pointy bit at the end, and then just bring it back like that. So it kind of looks like a balloon almost, but with a little point at the end. So I'm going to go up and around and bring it back like that. And there's his claw. And then all you need to do to finish that off, because now it just looks like he's got a big boxing mitt or something on his hand. So you just need to do his little claw thumb. Because lobsters, obviously, they have like a crab, like a sort of a nipper thing, a claw. So all you need to do is just a little arrow going up and down, like the top of a roof of a house, straight up and straight down, and just do it anywhere, absolutely anywhere you want on here like that. And that becomes his thumb. So now it looks like he's waving. And then give him his eyebrows, and there you go.
Oh no, that's where he was showing you what he does.
Yeah, you don't have to draw that.
Oh, we lost him.
But while you're still, I'll let you finish that. But one of the things I want to show you about Rocky, unlike Disgusting McGrossface, what makes him fun and I think a bit easier but also fun to do is every time he starts the same. Always start with your circle, the O, then you do the C, then you do his eye stalks and do his little football head. And if you do that every single time, I'll do 3 here. And you can make him very, very different just from doing these 3, just from doing this simple thing every single time. So let's think of what's a type of emotion or a feeling that you could have. Yes, unicorn hat. You're on mute. I might not be able to hear you. Oh, there we go. Yep.
Sad.
Sad. Okay. Well, sad, all we need to do is obviously when you're sad, well, your eyebrows usually go a bit more like this. So eyebrow, eyebrow. Obviously, he's got his eyeballs. And your mouth, is it up or is it down?
Down.
Down. Just like that. Maybe he's really sad. When you're really sad, your eyes start to get a bit, oh dear. And a tear or two coming out. So now he's sad. What's another one we could do? We've done happy and excited. And sad? What's another one? Mayton, what can you think of? What about mad? Let's do mad, right?
Yeah.
Angry eyebrows. He doesn't get mad very often, but you'd have 2 angry eyebrows coming in. And you'd have his eyes there. And you'd probably have when you get mad, you sometimes grit your teeth. So his mouth would be like, "Ah, I'm so mad." And then I think maybe a surprised face. I like a surprised face. Where your eyes get a bit big and your eyebrows go up and you usually make a sort of expression with your mouth. So his eyebrows would go way up here, way up here. His eyes would probably be really tiny because he's like, oh my goodness. And then his mouth would be this tiny little circle down there. So there you go. Sad, angry, surprised, almost a little bit terrified. And it all starts with the same circle and the C and his face. So when you want to, you can start making your own comics with him. In the book, there's like lots of pages where the story becomes like a comic book as well. So that you can find, here we go, like pages like that, where it's like a comic in there. And all you have to do, you can do that yourself. Write your own story and put him in it, knowing that all you have to do is draw the same head every single time, and you can make all these different expressions happen. So there you go.
That is amazing, bro. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.